Hi everyone, I'm Arfat from BuilderAddon, and in this video I'll show you why I think classes are a bad idea for any visual page builder like Oxygen. To demonstrate, I'll first add a heading. Now to style this heading using any class-based system, maybe utility classes, you would add classes like color red, add class, and then change its color. Then to maybe center this text, you would do text center, add class, go to typography, then center its text. Then to maybe bold the text, you would add text bold, add class, then change its font weight to something like 600. Then if you wanted to uppercase this heading, you would do text uppercase, add class, then uppercase it. Then if you wanted to change its font size, you would do text XL, add class, and then change its font size to something like 48 pixel. But then if you wanted to have a different font size at a different breakpoint, you would go to that breakpoint, then add another class called maybe tablet text XL, add class, then set its font size to something like 30 pixel. Then if you wanted to have a different font size at this breakpoint, you would go here, add a class like portrait text XL, add class, and then change the font size to like 18 pixel or something like this. And as you can see, the list of classes grows significantly very quickly, and this becomes a huge problem because the next time you want to add another heading and you want to have all the styles from this heading, in this heading you are going to have to add all the classes from the beginning. So you would do color red, then you would do text center, text bold, then text uppercase, then text XL, then tablet text XL, then portrait text XL. And now you will have all the styles from this heading in this heading. Now think, if your site has 100 different headings across your entire site, then you will have to go through this process 100 different times. And not just a heading, your site will be consisting of a lot other elements like section, div, text, button, icon, and many other things. So you will have to go through this process of adding classes every single time, and this will make building your site a lot slow. But then if you also consider that after building your site, maybe a day later you come back and you don't want all your headings to be uppercased anymore. Instead, you want them to be capitalized. So what will you do? You will go to every single heading, remove the uppercase class, then add another class called maybe text capitalize, add class, go to typography, and then capitalize it. You will do the same thing for this heading also. So remove the uppercase class, then add the capitalized class. And for 100 different headings on your site, you will have to do this 100 different times. And as you can see, this is going to be one of the worst ways you can build your site. So what would be a better way of doing this? It would be by using component classes. So I'll show you how you can do that. I'll add a heading first, and then I'll add a class. But instead of adding a class for every single style, I'll add just one class like heading primary, add class, and then inside this class I'll set all the styles. So color will be red, font size will be 48, font weight will be 600, text align center, then capitalize, then at this breakpoint the font size will be 30 pixel, then by this breakpoint font size will be 18 pixel. And now all the styles are now grouped inside this single class. So if you now add another heading, and if you want all the styles from this heading in this heading, then you will do heading primary, and that's it. All the styles are now available in this heading. Now if you wanted all your headings to be uppercase again instead of capitalize, you will go to typography and just change it to uppercase. And as you can see, the changes takes effect immediately throughout your entire site. And this is obviously a better way over using utility classes, because with utility classes you are adding every single style change in a single class, and because of that you cannot group styles together inside a single class, and that's the main bottleneck here. But with these component classes it's a lot easier, but even this approach has a lot of drawbacks. For example, if you wanted all of your heading to be uppercased, then font weight 600, font size 48, but you wanted some of your headings to be red and some of maybe blue, in that scenario you couldn't do this with a single class. So a better approach would be to add a generic class to every single element on your site. So to show you, I'll first add another heading, and because this is a heading element, I'll name the generic class heading and add class. Now inside this heading class I'll add all the styles that you want for all of your headings. So I'll set the font size to 48 pixel, then center align it, make it uppercase, change the font weight to 600. You may want to have some other style changes, but this will do for this demonstration. And now because you want to have a different color for this header, you can just add another class like heading secondary, and in this class you can just add a color like maybe something in blue. And using this approach of using a generic class and style specific classes, you can style your site in a much better way. But even this approach has a lot of problems. For example, if you add the same styles in both these classes, you can never be sure which style is going to take effect. For example, in this heading class, if I added a color like, let's say something like a yellow, and as you can see that this color is not taking effect because the heading secondary class already has a color set to it and this color is taking effect. But if you come to this heading, you can see it is red because the heading primary class has a red color. But if you now add the heading class, the color of the heading class is taking effect and not the color of the primary class. So you can never be sure which style is going to take effect, and this is a very big problem. But beside this, there are a lot of other problems when you are using classes. Like every time you want to add a heading or any other element, you will have to add this generic class to all of them, and then you will have to maintain them separately. And on top of that, you will have to create different classes like heading primary, heading secondary, heading hero, and classes like them. And then you will have to remember all of their names, and remembering names becomes a huge bottleneck in building your site. So for just your heading, you may have 5 different classes. For your div, you may have 15 different classes, and as your site grows, you will have hundreds of classes in your site. And every time you will want to add some style to any of your elements, you will first have to search for that class name and then add the class to the heading or any other element. And that's why you will first have to remember the class names. And even when you remember the class name, every time you want to add the class, you will have to type out the name here like text, center, and then add the class to your element. Here the class names pops up very quickly. Even if I type T, then all the classes come up. But as your site grows, when you have hundreds of different classes, typing just a letter or two will never give you the result. So you will have to type like 6-7 letters and then you will get the class suggestion. Now think about this. Your site will probably have thousands of elements, and every single element will have multiple classes. So you will have to type tens of thousands of letters just to add classes to your elements. Now look at another thing. If you add a maybe button element, and if you type heading, you will see that all the heading classes are available here. Even though the class names clearly say that this class should only be applicable to your heading elements, you can add them to your buttons. And this is clearly a very bad idea, because even though you have named these classes with a heading prefix, so you know probably this class is for your heading, you will often not name your classes beginning with heading, button, and things like them that identify the class. So often you will never know which class you created for which element, and because of this, building your site will become more complicated than it has to be. And when you consider all these things together, classes make no sense in a visual page builder like Oxygen. I mean, classes are okay if you are building your site by writing code in HTML, CSS or JavaScript, but when you are considering a visual page builder, classes make no sense. And this is why BuilderAddon introduces some very innovative concepts. And to show you how they work, I'll first remove all these headings. This heading, this one, then even this button, and this heading too. And I'll add some fresh headings. Add another one, maybe add another one. And now if I wanted to style all the headings throughout the entire site, all I needed to do is just activate this global style editor, and any style changes you make is going to be applied to all the headings throughout your entire site. So if I change the font weight to 600, you can see that all the headings font size has changed. If I wanted to uppercase them, it's just one click away. Then text align center, it's that simple. And if you wanted to add another heading, you'll see that this heading also has all the same styles. And you didn't even have to add any classes or anything like that. So you didn't have to deal with any classes. And this is how you can style all your heading or any other element on your site from just this global style editor. And then from the previous example, if you wanted some of your headings to have a red color, you could just activate this primary or secondary preset and then activate the style editor. And now let's give it a red color. And as you can see, only this heading has this red color. But now if I click on this heading or any other heading and activate this primary style, then this heading will also have the same style. And guess what? There is no classes in here. You don't have to deal with classes when you are using these features. Also, you'll notice that I have the red color in this heading. But if I activate the global style and temporarily remove the primary headline because I want to go back to the global style editor and set a different color, maybe this green, you will see that all the headings have this green except this heading because it has the primary style activated. And even for this heading, if I activate the primary style, then this heading will also have the red color. So you will always know that if you have a color or any other styles in your primary or secondary preset, then that will have higher priority than your global styles. So this fixes the priority problem in CSS that you could not fix otherwise. But yeah, you are now probably thinking this is just a primary and secondary preset. What if you wanted some more classes? BuilderAddon has something great for you, which is custom presets. So for example, let's say you wanted to have a hero heading. So you would name it probably heading hero and then add as a class. But presets are specific to the element. So any preset you create for a heading will not be applicable to any other button or anything else. So you can just remove this part and add as a preset. And now let's change some styles, maybe set the background color to some gray. And now if you come back to this heading and if you click here, you will see that all the custom presets are already available here. So you don't need to remember the class names, then type their name and then select it from the list. No, everything is always available here. So you can just click here and it will be added. It is this simple. Now let's add a button or any other element. And if you go here, you will see that the hero preset is not available here because that preset is only applicable to the heading elements. And because of this, you will never have to worry about managing your site, remembering the right class name, applying it to the right element or any of that thing. Everything is already taken care of for you automatically. And this was just a simple overview how this global style, primary, secondary preset and the custom presets work in BuilderAddon. But you can learn more about how they work from the link in the description. And also, this is not the only feature that BuilderAddon does. BuilderAddon has a lot of other features that truly innovates how you work with visual page builders. So it takes care of your classes, breakpoints and many other things. Just go to our website BuilderAddon.com from the link in the description and you will see what I mean. This will be all for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.